Good morning, all. Good morning, all. What's going on? Market is now open after a crazy $3 hard rage on SPY right out of the gate in the pre-market hours. And start the day off, we've got a little red candle here. Let's see what they want to do. We just raged it all morning long. Let's see if we're going to dump it. Maybe it's a bull trap, or maybe we'll just recover and just continue on higher. Let's see. Either way, we're going to play smart, especially after yesterday. That was that volatility yesterday was crazy. That was almost unplayable. So right now it's 439.70, 439.80. Right at the POC on the 3-minute chart. Everything looks pure green. Futures, straight line recovery all morning long. A little bit of red candles here as we continue on up. Continue on up. That's right. That's right. Let SPY do its thing. Let it tell you what you want to do. We do like volatility, but sometimes a little bit is too much. Yesterday for me was too much. Yesterday was too much. When you're having $2 swings in minutes, you know, if you're wrong on that one, you're wrong big. So we do like to have a little volatility, but we want to have something that's a little bit predictable. Right now, I'm going to let things shake out here. If we're going to continue on upward all-time highs, there's still plenty upside. If we go to all-time highs, we'll be popping 450. We'll take calls and we'll ride it all the way to the bank. Until I see that, I'm going to sit on my hands, baby. Let's get it. What's up, Corporal? How you doing, buddy? Hola. Yeah, there is volume. There is volume, both in the market and in the chat. Yeah, buddy. How is everybody doing? Good morning. Good morning. There you go. What's up, Lee Rat? How you doing, buddy? Yeah. Sorry about that. All right, supports and resistance. There you go. Let me look at the options chain, see what we're doing today. Yeah, buddy. Today is the 20th. 23rds are too close. I want to take some volatility off the table, so we're going to go with the 25ths. Just in case I'm wrong on a play, you get smoked out. Deltas, I like the 438s, puts, and 442s. So 438s and then the 442s. The August 25ths. Yeah, those traded for $2.36 each and $1.98. It's right at the $2 limit. This is almost back. This is back to springtime premium. So I like it. FAANG is green, yeah, buddy. Lee Rat Senior's off to the beach. Nice stuff. Huge volume here on the futures. The VIX continues to fall at 21.18 all the way down. Looks like they want to approach the lower 20s again as Q is still on up. XLK is gapping up. XLF is trading flat. Bs are upturning. Energy's flat. Bonds are increasing. Yep, let's do a sentiment poll. SPY 8/20/2021 morning session. I don't even know why I'm doing this. I know what everyone's going to say. And then let's see, 413.9 downward. All right. The sentiment poll is posted. Let's see what y'all think. Things should go down, but they're up. I mean, that's the past 18 months for you. All right, green candle is up to 440.57. Yesterday's highs pivots were 440.113, 440.94, and 441.05, and we are toying with those right now. We'll see what happens. Volume, not all that crazy. It is definitely increased, but it always is in the first few minutes of the day. Right now, this thing is going on up. Futures are definitely big old green. NASDAQ is green-red. Healthcare sector is green. Materials is big green. Financials green. Everything is green, green, green. VIX is plummeting hard. 2067. Let's see if we can bounce off this 2030 level. Did I just say meow? No. I didn't say meow. Yep, POC is point of control. So yeah, the point of control is just the largest distribution of volume on that particular time frame. So when you've got your volume, at price indicator right here, your volume price indicator, you've got these nodes. These are called nodes, these little waves, the histogram. And you've got these levels on which the price congregates. So here you've got a big one, here you've got a big one, here you've got a big one. The biggest one is right here. And that's where the point of control is placed. And that's time frame dependent. So as you move time frames, that will adjust. If you go to the 1 year, it'll be different. It'll be significantly down because obviously as the price increases, you're going to have different levels of support. And then the 1 year, the 1 minute will be higher. So usually, traditionally, the shorter time frames have higher point of controls in a bull market than in the long term time frames. And that's where you find your supports and resistances. Did we hit the 50 on the 1 year? No, we did not. We didn't even come close. Well, I guess we did come close, within a few dollars, but no, we did not. Good morning, good morning. What's your opinion on SPY not reaching the 50 on the 1 year? I mean, it is what it is, man. You know, all you can do is make your thesis and plans, and sometimes it doesn't work out. And that's why you wait for confirmation. That's why I didn't take that swing put play. And I didn't take the swing call because it rebounded here on that crazy volatility yesterday. When you have this much upside, this much downside, I mean, if you look at this chart, it doesn't look all that crazy. But until you realize that we're talking about 441 to 430. You're talking about $7 here. That's what makes this day so crazy. I mean, we went from 440 to 437 and then rocketed back up, and those are $3 or $4 moves. You don't see that. Usually, if you get a trend like this, you get $4 or $5 in one direction. But the fact that we're swinging dollar moves, very volatile. So when you have that kind of volatility, that precludes a move. Usually, when you have this kind of volatility, it precludes a move, and that's where we figure out where we're going. Are we going up, or are they going to flush this back down? I know everyone is euphorically bullish right now, but you have to look at the previous charts. We still haven't recovered yet. And today will pretty much be the determinant of what we're going to do. I mean, look back here in May. We started doing this crap, and then we flushed again all the way back down, touched the 50 twice. And I mean, we didn't do it these times, but you have to confirm when you have these type of moves. We didn't come all the way back down. We actually came 434. We came within $2 of the 50, but we didn't actually touch it. It's easy to be euphorically bullish in moments like this, but you have to be careful. You have to be careful. 3-minute chart, we are up to 440.83. Oh, you're welcome, Joey. Thanks for being here, buddy. Yeah, it's all about doing a little learning. Can you please explain the significance of hitting the 50? I can do that. Yeah. How's the pinky? It's about a 10 on the scale of pain of 1 to 10. Swollen, extremely painful, but hey, I'm here. All right, so the 1 year, it'll be interesting to do bench press. All right, so the 50 simple moving average on the 1 year is a baseline determinant on when things are going to reverse. You see this red line is the 50 on the 1 year chart. You see pretty much, I mean, you can just look at it, obviously, even somebody who's isn't privy to this can see that there is a pattern where usually when it touches the 50, it starts a recovery. Sometimes it spends a little bit longer, but most of the time, 1 day, 2 days, 1 day, or didn't even come close that time. But usually when we touch it, it's about 1 day until we get the bounce. Here we touched it twice. Here we spent 1, 2. On the third day we recovered, so almost 3 days below. Here there's 2 days. Here we spent a lot. Of course, September and October were bearish, so that was different. This is what normal markets look like during the year. We have these type of oscillations continually, but this is straight line bull. And every time you enter a bullish market like this, that 50 is a great indicator. What do you think about the PM activity this morning? That's straight line buying. I mean, it's a lot of bullish action. So a lot of money coming into the market, buying up the weakness. I mean, that's all there is to it. And, if we do go on higher, then, we'll take calls. What happens when the stock is below the 50? Usually when we pop below the 50 and stay below, usually you've got, we're in just downturn territory and we're in a bearish market. We haven't stayed below the 50 in a very long time. And we'll see. I mean, let's take a look at the market. Even as bearish as we were in September and in October, we didn't stay below the 50 very long. I mean, September 18th until, let's see, October. So about a week and a half, 2 weeks, we stayed below there. And then here was about a week and a half in October. And even then we recovered quickly. So you see that we don't spend in a bull market, you don't spend a lot of time below the 50. Now, obviously, back in the Corona, we blasted through it. And even then, as huge as that was, we, I think by June, here, from March 23rd until April 21st, so a month, we stayed below the 50 and quickly recovered. And then by June, we had fully recovered all of these highs. Or August, we recovered all of the levels. So, and before that, you can start to see we toyed with the 50 more often. This is a normal market. This is what a normal market looks like. This interlacing that 50. And even back here on September 2018, which we had 2018 was bearish, we stayed below the 50 almost the entire year. So from September until January, we stayed below the 50. So markets look different. And that's so important to look back and do your market analysis. Using the longer moving averages are great baselines on which to base price action. The 200, the 50, so on and so forth. Do you buy any actual SPY on those dips? I do, yeah, absolutely I do. So anytime I skim off my profits every quarter, because I skim profits every quarter off my trading, put them in there, I've got my cash allocation to my long-term account, and then I use that to dollar cost average. That's the only real objective in long-term trading is dollar cost averaging. So if you buy lows, sell high, that's fine. I mean, or just never sell at all. And then even on long-term accounts, you're not even necessarily looking for big dips to just add. Now here I'm being a little less aggressive because I do think we are on the precipice of one of the worst declines in the market we've ever seen. That's just me personally. So I'm taking some risk off the table. I've liquidated Netflix. I've liquidated Tesla. So yeah, and we'll see where we go from there. What are your long-term holds now? I've got ETFs. I've got ETFs. I've got, of course, most of FAANG, not all of it. I've got REITs, all that kind of stuff. So it's all about just doing a good diversification. REITs for me, I love real estate. I'm heavily involved in real estate. So actually, I'm going to the bank today about another property. It's all about, after I go to the doctor, so it's all about diversifying your portfolio. And REITs are a great way to do that, especially when you got dividend income and you could do the dividend reinvestment program where you continually exponentially grow your account as well as your SPY. SPY is also a baseline. And especially if you got in on SPY and this craziness of 2020, you can see the returns you can kind of have on a raising economy. Thoughts on potential war in the market? Oh, man. I don't want to talk too much about that just to get political and all that stuff. But, I mean, obviously there is some events going on in the Middle East, and that could fuel some volatility in the market depending on what it is. Now, it has to become bigger than what it is. There'll have to be an official stance change with the current administration in order to drive a lot of volatility in the market. Look at this green candle. Holy crap. 441.45 in just beast mode. Increasing volume. Ah, look at this. All right, so this is a huge rotation out of bonds into the financial sector and into the market. So just absolute beast mode from 441. We're already seeing from 437 to 58 all the way up to 441. We're already up $4 from lows today. Crazy stuff. Option premiums are considered, I mean, they're short-term, and it depends what you're investing in. SPX, you're looking at long-term capital gains. And then if you're doing just regular options contracts less than a year, you're looking at short-term capital gains. Crazy bullish action on increasing buying volume, so it's definitely there, and it appears that we are going to new highs. This looks like if I had to guess, that the dip is over. We're not coming back down, so I hope you all enjoyed that one-day dip. That was fun, and off to new all-time highs. 441, 86, and 83 on crazy increased buying, and a lot of volatility. And look, freaking VIX just fell off from 2390 all the way down to 2011. And it looks like we already blew through all the pivots, so the next pivot would be down here in the 18s, upper 17s. All the indexes are definitely ripping. We have a massive, this is all, so it looks like they're going risk off. So all of the money is coming back out of the bonds that we've gathered over the past since August 12th and going into the indices. So yeah. This volume tells me that it's supported. Like it's very much. I mean, obviously they could. I can't predict the future. I can't predict them pulling the rug out from under us. But there's a enormous amount of buying volume in the market now. Not only that, the money is flowing out of the bonds, and that is the key kicker there. That's the kicker. Bonds, the money flowing out of the bonds into the market. They're going risk off. They like what they see. We've gotten the flush that we needed, and now we're just climbing. We're just absolute euphoria bullish sentiment. Yep. So I'm going to have to adjust my watch list already because it's already gone crazy high. How come I never take calls in the first 30 minutes? It's just that usually the first 30 minutes a little too volatile. A little too volatile. So I like to let things play out and usually take my positions a little bit later. Sometimes I'll take them the first 30 minutes. Sometimes I'll take them right at open, but most of the time not. How do you reduce your taxes? Are weekly options considered capital gains? Weekly options, if held for less than a year, are considered short-term capital gains and will be taxed at your short-term regular rate. If you hold SPX, or if you trade SPX, which is one of the benefits of SPX, when you trade SPX, no matter how long you hold them, you are taxed at 60% long-term capital gains and 40% short-term tax rate. One of the benefits of SPX. That's correct, yeah. Yeah, it's one of the benefits of trading SPX is that if you trade SPX options, it's 60% long term. It's taxed at 60% long term, 40% short term. How's that an advantage? No, because the long term capital gains rate is lower than your short term regular tax rate. No, not 60% tax rate. 60% of the profits from SPX is taxed at the long term capital gains rate, and 40% of those profits are taxed at the short term capital gains rate. Yeah. Correct. Yeah, 60% of your SPX profits are taxed at the long term capital gains rate. Yeah. Sorry, I was a little unclear on that. Yeah. How do you reduce your taxes? Well, I mean, obviously, one is to make sure is trade SPX if you can afford it. Number two is to buy depreciable assets if you are in a business, so you can deduct that. Plus, if you're personnel, you have to do itemized taxes in order to do that. But if you're a business, you can buy depreciable assets against your business or against your profits to reduce your taxable income, and that's one thing. That's one of the ways. And if you're in real estate, there are plenty of ways to do that. One way is to use, a lot of the upper wealth, they use loans to, they use debt to actually fund their income. So because you can't, debt and is not taxable income, obviously. So you take loans against your equity and use that to fund your lifestyle, and then you just pay those off. But that's a very high level strategy. But there are bunch of different ways. The most common one is to buy depreciable assets, so you can get Section 579 expense for your business and reduce your income. How much do I bench? Right now it's 365. Are you profits for the whole year taxed or each trade? Well, I mean, you get a statement of all your transactions and your total losses and profits. I don't know, though. We'll see how much I bench after I deal with this broken finger. No, SPY is not taxed like SPX. SPY is taxed 100% at the short-term rate. Yeah, I mean, I weigh 220, so 365 is definitely, it's higher, but I've got a higher body weight. If I was 150, that's different, but no, just 365 one rep max. Yeah. Could you do a video on how to reduce your taxes? I want to, I like to stay away from. I want to stay away from tax stuff because that is I don't want to say something incorrect or say something that you misinterpret, and then you get in a tax situation and it's like, hey, well, OM told me to evade taxes. Now, so I'd like to stay away from tax talk, especially doing a published video on it. But I mean, I'll be happy to help as much as I can. I just kind of want to tread the line there. Yep, one rep max, 365. Yep, I would just find you a trusted accountant that deals in investments. I have a 445, 27th, and 3rd call to recommend where this will bounce and play hard. Let's see here. So we're talking about September 3rd calls and August 27th calls. Recommend where this will bounce and how to play. Well, I mean, you should, depending on when you bought those, you should be up pretty good on those. You don't know when you're going to necessarily, this is a lot of volatility. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know exactly where this thing is going. I just know it's extremely volatile, and there's a lot of buying growth right now, a lot of buying volume, and things are going up. So if I were in your position, I would reduce some of my risk, because when you have a volatile market like this, you've done very well with those plays, so you should be up a pretty decent amount. I would start reducing a little risk. That's what I would do personally. How's your one rep max squat for deadlift? I haven't maxed in deadlift in quite a while. I mean, I still work out up to 350, 405 on deadlift. I haven't maxed out because of my lower back. Squat right now is 425 max, but I haven't maxed out since December. So right now I'm doing 425 for reps actually, but we'll see. I'm trying to get to 500 on squat. Have you considered just cutting your finger off? Yes, I have. Broken finger, oral surgery. Oh, I'm getting a fight. No, no, I've got my 2 front teeth are fake, and I chipped one of them a couple of months back. and it takes 10 months to get that thing fixed because you have to do an implant. So like the oral surgery is getting that thing fixed. Broken finger was because I dropped a bit of weight on it yesterday working out. All right, so we are consolidating at 441.73. Crazy bullish action. Obviously, volume has died off, but we'll see where we go from there. I think releasing a video going over taxes and also how day traders are able to take out mortgages and car loans. Yeah. That gets you into financial advisor territory. Yep. You can do financial, and there's a big, because I've researched this. You can coach people into how to do stuff without a license and stuff like that. And I think that's what I don't mind doing, and talking about financial stuff. But when you get into taxes, that's a different thing. And because like where you draw the line is actually touching people's money. And obviously, I'm not touching anybody's money, but talking about taxes is a sensitive subject. Oh yeah, dropping a dimble on your foot. It's crazy. I was an accountant. Yes, I was. Which is why I know a lot about this stuff. I do, Lee Rat. Yeah. What time of day do you fit your workouts in, and how many days a week do you work out? I usually work out every day. Something. I do some sort of workout every day. Even on my off days, I still do some sort of active recovery. I usually work out after I sign off here about 11:30. Most of the time, I do it after the markets close, though. So right now, levels. Let's go to the 5-minute here. Let's close this out. So we've got this volume node here at 442.43, and we're at 441.98. I've got a node here at 442.36 and 440.70. We just blasted right through that first resistance, and we're heading on up. Crazy buying, or we had crazy buying volume this morning. We'll see how this volume starts to play out here. The VIX right here is just straight line down as we hit 19. I'm curious about your reference to a future lockdown. Haven't seen any evidence among media, politicians, everyday life that the public has an appetite for another lockdown. Well, I'm a little more. I mean, people that are in health, not me, like just me, but a lot of people who are involved in the healthcare industry are a little more privy to the situation, and it's not just because of the unvaccinated. So, I mean, I'd like to curb your thought there. Yes, a lot of people who are getting it are unvaccinated, but it's not just because of the unvaccinated. It's just the healthcare industry right now is completely devastated. Completely devastated. So, hold on, I'm just reading this. Yeah, so right now you've got a shortage of nurses because they don't want to deal with this. You've got this wave coming, and there's going to continue to be waves. And then, like, people are devastated. Like, the media is not quite, like, I ask my wife every day, why is the media not correctly portraying what's going on? Because she's working crazy hours. All her nurses are pushed to the wall. So it's going to eventually take effect. And like the media can't continue not to really talk about this very long because it's a huge deal. So, Australia, you see it happening down in Australia. They pretty much locked everything down. That's where they see cases. And you're going to, especially, we're in the summer months, and summer months don't usually have a lot of growth for viral activity. So when you've got going into the winter months where viral activity picks up, it's just going to be that much more worse. So, haven't taken a play yet, Dream Cycle. Yeah, for sure. Waiting for it to shake out. That's right, baby. I'm a doctor, and last night in my hospital, can't even see all the people. People are, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what my wife said. Yeah, they're completely out of beds. It's like if you've got regular care, they're having to shed you off to another hospital because they just don't have beds. So I'm in the Southeast, so one of the Southeast states. Yeah, I mean the bonuses that my wife is having to offer her employees are absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Uh, We're talking daily rate plus time and a half plus daily bonuses when you just to get people to come in plus contracts for traveling nurses. It's ridiculous. I mean, they're throwing all the money they can at nurses and they still can't get positions filled. Nobody wants to do it. They don't want to do bedside anymore. So yeah, we raged hard on SPY, and now we're sitting 441.80 range. We're up and down 441.60 to 442.08, about 28-cent range here after some pretty volatile mornings. VIX, I wouldn't expect too much of a recovery from VIX here until possibly the upper 18s. XLK, there's a huge transfer into rotation into these indices. XLE and FB is up. XLV healthcare is quite high, and this rotation out of the bonds is the biggest teller for me. That's the biggest teller for me. Nasdaq's way up. Futures continue to climb right up here. Massive buying volume there as well. Well, I don't want to get into a back and forth on the corona. Like, nobody's a true expert on it except for the experts. So, like, unfortunately, there's a lot of misinformation both for and against the COVID virus in the media. And like the media is very guilty of spreading misinformation anyway. So, I'll just be safe. That's all it is. And listen to the people that matter, and that's the healthcare professionals, not the media. The healthcare professionals. They're the true experts on this. They're the one living with this. They're the one fighting this day in and day out. So that's all there is to it. Can I say a Palantir is good or bad without anything else? It's in my portfolio. I'll tell you that. That's what I'll say. I own it. Is one able to find your exact chart on TradingView? Yes, it is. Let's see. I have the app here, so let me see if I can do that. I might have to bring up the website and copy and paste it. Let's see if I can do that. I'll figure it out. There you go. All right, I just posted my trading view in there, and I'll post it in the Patreon room as well. So if you want to copy that chart, you can. Do I ever practice my sword skills with carp? Nope. No sword skills for me. Oh, no, I didn't, Justin. Actually, I'll do that. I'll do it after I sign off here. I'll get that posted. Just ping me again if I forget. I'm making a little to-do list here, so. VIX continue to just fall off a cliff here. No problem, Andrew. No problem. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. The range closes what here? 2 minutes. Right now we're at 442.31 and 439.72. So, on days like today, the range is kind of pointless. When we have this kind of volatility, it's easy to you just disregard the bottom side of it. I don't. If we have downside that's going to bring us all the way back down to 439.69, then it's just going to be some bearish action here. It'll probably be recovered or completely sell off here. So days like today, it's just up and away, up and away. Yep, it's bouncing off that all day long, and it's. I mean, this has all the indications of a just skyrocket trend day. So I'll be looking to enter a position on some calls here shortly on any pullback, but unfortunately, it's just not pulling back. It's just green, green, green all the way up. I'm trying to tread the line between being euphoric and just jumping into a position and playing smart. So that's why I'm waiting for a pullback. If we come down on the 5 and touch that 8, I'll probably enter a call and go up. I reduced my position size so far. I'm up 3/4. Nice. Well done. Yeah, I'll go to the 445 calls. 445 calls. Oof. You escaped with 20% profits on puts yesterday. Nicely done. Nicely done. All right, so I'm going to have to zoom out here to figure out more resistance and supports because we're just blowing through every resistance. Let's see here. We've got this node here at 443.22. We're currently at 442.39. And above that, of course, it's new all-time highs. We're right at the 3-month POC at 442.52. We're just hovering right at that. What do you consider a small? For me, a small position size is, I don't know, anywhere from, on SPY from 25 50 contracts, depending on the premium. Medium position size anywhere from 75 to 100, 110, 115, and below that. Above that is anywhere from 150 to 200 contracts from right now. That's just with SPY. I don't go over 200 contracts in SPY because then you're just talking about crazy commissions. So then I'll just go to SPX. And SPX, depending on the premium, anywhere from I don't know, large position size is 50 to 75 contracts. Below that is anywhere from 25 to 30, and below that is anything below that. 1 contract, 5 contracts. When I did that swing play, 2-3 weeks ago, I did like 4 contracts on SPY. So just really like a fractional position size. Usually I just place 1 order. Sometimes I'll place 2, but normally the vast majority of the time it's just one order. All depends on the premiums too. I like to keep my position sizes in a particular range, like a dollar amount range, where it's like, all right, I kind of know where things are going to roll. I've been doing this for so long. Like, if I use a certain position size, I can kind of figure out in my head what the percentage gains or losses are going to be, how things are going to roll. I'm focused on small gains in and out. I've got my 4 rules, and Number one, I've got 4 rules that I want to judge all my transactions in at the end of a quarter, at the end of a month. And I want all my transactions to fit in 4 categories. And that is, the first category is 1 to 2 big wins. You want 1 to 2 big wins a quarter, maybe 1 to 2 big wins a month, depending on what you want to do at. The second category is you want to have a lot of small wins, anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15% wins, a lot of those. Third category is a few small losses, anywhere from 5, 10, 15% losses. You want to keep your losses minimized. And the whole point of that category is because you're going to take losses and you want to focus on minimizing those losses. The fourth category is big losses, and you want none of those. 60, 50% losses on big position size. You don't want any of those optimally. If you can fit all your transactions in those 4 categories, in 1 to 2 big wins, I mean, like if you can get a big old win 1 to 2 times a month, you will start growing your account. You'll be surprised. And if you look at the video I posted, the trading log, 8.7% position size. That's my average. And I was able to more than double my account in 4.5 months. And that's including all the big losses I took. I took a 60% loss, a 40% loss, 30% loss. So I took some big losses, and I was still able to more than double my account, playing very conservatively with 8.7 average position size. So the smaller position size, the more gains you can rack up, as long as you know how to do this and you develop a trend on how to develop a system. We're bullish at the moment. Nice, 14% win. Well done. Well done. All right, so VIX has got a little bit of support here. It's kind of a no man's land here. We do have a pivot 1956, but that's a little outdated, so we'll see how this thing works. Getting support right here. Nice, good job, Keisha. 34% win. Well done, well done. So if you're a regular person starting with say 10K, you should trade 8% of that. Just to be clear, I mean that's my average position size was 8%. That's all I was saying. The whole point of that was to show is that you don't need egregious position sizes to make money as long as you're consistent. If you're consistently learning, you don't need to YOLO 40% of your portfolio. Just nice, simple position sizes to get that baby up. You'll be surprised how much stress you will take off the table if you reduce your position size. I promise you, like this will become an enjoyable thing if you reduce your position sizes because you'll think clearly. You'll be able to hold in positions a little bit longer. You'll be able to think clearly as long as you do small position size. When you've got 30%, 40% of your portfolio and you see things swinging like crazy and you see your actual total portfolio adjusting to the fluctuations of the market, you start getting a little crazy. Like you start, holy crap, man, I got to get out of this position. I got to sell it. Every little red candle you want to sell, every green candle you want to, like, it's just reduce your position size and start enjoying trading. And then you could start learning something. You could take emotions out of it. You could start enjoying how to do this. I got a $25,000 account and I take 2K position size. Well done. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Plenty of profits if you do it right. Well done. I know that obviously the name of the game is to make money is the monetary, the financial part of this, but if you want to do this long term, controlling your stress and your emotions is just if not more important than the money. If you can control like this, if you want to do this for 30, 40 years, if you want this to be like a legit thing you can bring money out of for 40 years, you have to control your stress. Because why do you want to sit there at the computer and then like you get off the computer and your nerves are fried, your family hates you because you're always in a bad mood, you're always complaining about and moaning about how I just lost money and I used too big and blah blah. I hate this and you're back and forth. One day you're fork, one day you're dismayed, you're disheveled. You got to reduce your stress, and you do that by position size and learning how to do this. You reduce your position sizes, you reduce your stress. Your family actually starts to like you, and then I say, hey, maybe they can get on board with this. That's what I was like when I first started. Like one day I was euphoric because I had a big win. The next day I was completely like distraught, and I was the worst trader in the world, and I hate myself because I lost a bunch of money. And then once I started, then I like eventually the market makes you start taking smaller position sizes. Like if you're going to play big, fine, then I'm just going to smack you down. And I'm going to keep on smacking you down until you start playing nice, until you start making smaller position sizes. And once I started doing that, man, it's like, hey, this is actually quite nice. Even on the days that I lost, I was like, man, I just took a 30% loss and it wasn't that bad. Small position sizes and you'll live longer. I promise you. If I have 750, should I be taking way outside the money puts and calls when I play them in uni with 20% cred so I can manage a job currently? If you can't manage your account like on the minute daily, yeah, I'm watching. I'm watching. It's still trading up. I'm watching. I'm on SPI. So it did bounce off the 5. You're right. You're right. Yeah, just reduce your contracts as much as you can and try to find a balance between expiration and strike that's commensurate with your position sizes. Don't go too far out. Don't do close. But just try to find one that you can work with. Yeah, I mean, I would have probably entered down there at the 8. I just missed it because I was yapping my gums. But down here at 442.49, I'd probably taken down here at the 441.83. That would have been a nice win. August 25th, 445 calls are currently at $1.18 right now, which is a good little position. Oh, nice, Lee Rat. Well done. Good job. Making a decision without me. I love it. That's the stuff I love, man. When y'all start making positions at the right time, where I would have done it, good stuff. Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I'll go ahead and let you know any position I take today is going to be a small position, low confidence play. Until this volatility starts shaking out, I'm not putting a large position size in, even if it's something that I'm looking at that's good. So I'll go ahead and tell you that. Probably anywhere from 10 to 15, maybe 17 contracts in SPX. Q's double green right up. That was a good buy, Lee Rat. Well done. Right off that 8. Bounced cleanly right off the 8. NASDAQ is a straight line up. So is the futures here. XLF is pop up here, but uptrending, but not too aggressive. Obviously, the tech sector is going crazy. Yeah, what a candle. What was it like to trade between October 18 and April 19? Well, you have to realize, like, it's hard for me to remember. Nice 16%. Well done. Awesome stuff. Well, that was a fantastic trade. That was a professional trade right there. October 18 and April 19. So you have to realize the market that was is not the market that is now. Like, it's hard for me to even fathom a normal market anymore because the way things have been since freaking March of 2020. So, but I mean, let's look back on it. Way on back, yeah. So August or October of 18, which is where we at? June, July, August, September, October. So here the downturn. You're talking about the big downturn. I mean, that was just as prevalent as up here when you've got these downturns. This is the thing I've been harping on when people look at when like this is the called like bear market because this lasted from it peaked out in September and all the way through December. So you're talking about September, October, November. You're talking about 4 or 5 months of downside here. People aren't used to trading that. They're not used to trading this kind of bearishness. So you just have to be able to recognize it, and that's the benefit of trading both sides. It's hard to do that when you're trading stocks because stocks act differently than ETFs. But if you trade ETFs, that's easy to trade because you just trade the downside. On days like today, on trend days like this, on the 5 minute chart, you buy the 8 EMA, you buy the 8 EMA. I would have bought it there if I wasn't yapping my gums. So 8 EMA, 5 minute chart. Let's look at VIX. VIX 5 minute here or 3 minute. We've blasted. We kind of consolidated here for just a second. And now we're lowering down. I would say upper 18s, mid to upper 18s is where we're going to start finding some sort of consolidation with the VIX. I mean, we just fallen off a cliff from the 23s. Do you think we hit 444? I think there's a very high potential we hit that today. I do think there's a potential to hit that today. What are your thoughts on a program called flow trade? I would assume that's like the options flow. I use Titan Flow. Titan Flow is what I use for that stuff. So 50%. Or you talk about what do you pay for commissions? I pay 50 cents for commissions for my options, if that's what you're asking. How much do you decide how much money you keep in your brokerage and how much to move to your bank account? That's just my personal preference. I have a certain dollar amount that I'm comfortable having in there where I could turn up the risk, turn down the risk, and it doesn't throw me off. If I had too much money on my trading account, I'd be like, all right, well, my position sizes need to be too much and it's too much for me to handle. Once I start playing with the big, like if I ever fortunate enough to get playing with the big dogs in terms of like if my liquid net worth is like 10, 20 million, then we'll turn that up because I've got more money to lose. But, right now there's a certain dollar amount I like to keep. And once I hit that dollar amount, I just funnel off my profits and I put them in a lot of other accounts. Yeah, you know, I highly encourage Titan Flow. I'll post some stuff here in the room on the Discord, and I use Titan Flow for call volume, put volume, block buys, you know, big money, hedge fund buys, block order stuff like that, where I'm looking at things are going to go. So VIX have another green candle here at the 1934 level. We're up to 442.64. Let's stay on the 5-minute. See what we gonna do. Could you do a video on how to use Titan Flow sometime? Yeah, I could do that. I'm actually working with the owner of Titan Flow on some stuff here, and you know he allowed us to give. I know he talked to me a lot about let's do a program where we allow you all and everyone in the Discord to have a discounted Titan Flow to use that and use their program. It's a good tool to have. It's a cool tool to have for sure. Do you always close by end of day or end of week? End of day. I always close end of day. Do I ever hold a contract for a week, like a call in this case for next week? No, but I'm going to. Once I have, you know, once I get the warm and fuzzies that we're going to go on and upward, I'll take a 3-week call. Probably Monday, depending on how today goes. Is that the announcement? No, that's not the announcement. Wait, what's the announcement you're going to tell us today? Yeah, like crazy. Can't leave us hanging like that. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. How's the finger? Terrible. Hurts like crazy. I've got a splint on it. Woke up all swollen today. It's quite painful, but it is what it is. You know, splint it up. I'll be all right. A little bit of ibuprofen. All right, so watching this 8 EMA here, 5-minute chart. XLF is coming down here. Q's, NASDAQ coming down there. VIX is got a little green. Just a little more. Yeah, I'm worried about the 5, Lee Rat. Worried about the 5. I wish I could do that, Corporal. Wish I could do that. Because we're through the 5 on the 3-minute now. 5 minutes, we're almost there. You got 442.22 is that 5-minute chart. I don't. I usually go over, you know, SPY, SPX. Rarely I'll do the Qs, stuff like that. There is a channel that goes over everything else. Like if there's a general channel to talk about other stocks, if you want to do that, but I don't. So this thing's getting bought up. It went to 442.40 to 442.64. Yeah, Jeff, for sure, for sure. So it's not quite even getting down to the fit to the 8. Nasdaq continues on climbing. Yeah, I do. I use E-Trade. $10 on option. Holy crap! I'm supposed that. What country is that in? Quest Trade. I've never heard of that one. Wow, $10 a Canada. Okay. Wow. Mine's 50 cents. 50 cents a trade. It's fine, Dano. Haters gonna hate, 50 cents per contract. Per contract. Whoever was talking about Quest Trade, switch to IBKR. There you go. What's the play right now? Right now, we're seeing if we come down to the 8 EMA on the 5-minute chart, which looks like we're rounding over. The EMA is starting to flatten out just a touch. And we'll take a call bouncing off that if we get a bounce. Right now, the VIX is consolidating. I'd like the VIX to continue to fall down to these upper 18s. Yeah, 65 cents is normal on E-Trade. If you do more than 30 trades a quarter, you get that you can get it down to 50. All right, all right. So the big announcement for Patreon members, and I'll announce this here, and I'll type it up and post it in the ETF room in there. So for Patreon members, OMG, OMG. So for Patreon members, I am doing a $1,000 giveaway for all Patreon members. So it'll be through after the first week of September. I'll do a drawing, and I'll do a $1,000 drawing, and I'm thinking I'm going to do 5 $200 gift cards or whatever it is. So it's just my way to give back to y'all. And of course, we're still in the infancy, so this is something I'll start to do more normal as we continue to grow. I'll make it bigger and bigger. It's just going to be a random drawing. It's not going to be a competition based. It's just going to be random draws. So $1,000 giveaway. It's going to be 5 $200 payments. So I'll either mail gift cards or I'll figure out some way to transfer. My only whatchamacallit. My only limitation is how do I pay people in other countries. So as long as you have a way for me to pay you, then obviously you'll be able to get the money. So yeah. So PayPal, yeah, I've got PayPal. I could do that. I've got it at OptionsMillionaire PayPal. I can do that. Crypto, I don't know how to do that, but yeah. So yeah, I'll post that in the entire room, and we'll do that. In fact, you know what? I'll go ahead and post that to everybody. And then that'll be drawn the first week of September. The only catch is you have to be a Patreon member. It'll be just for the Patreon members. So I'll draw your name out of a hat. 5 $200 payments. So crypto transfer, very easy. You should do an options play for $1,000 and let the winner split the P&L. Yeah, yeah. I'd like my payment in SPY leads, please. OM covers one option loss for the winner. That's a good idea. Oh, thanks, Aimless. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's just for y'all. You can do. It's your money. It's just part of my thank you for being a part of the community. Yep, I'm working on it, Andy. I've got a lot on my plate right now, so once I figure everything out, and we'll work on that. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. Yeah. I'll accept payment in live cattle. I'll get one of my wranglers down here to ship you a cattle if you win. All right, green candles. Green candles. What do you think about having weekly contests on who can have the best percentage gains? I'd love to do that. The only problem would be to how to do it with integrity. Like, how do I get people from not cheating? Stuff like that. If I could figure out a way to do that, uh, what I would probably do is have a channel set up where people call their plays just like I do. Like they would call their entries, time stamped. They would call their exits, and we go by percentage gains, and they'd have to be double checked. So there would be rules. There would be rules. You can't do 100% of your account, stuff like that, or it'd have to limit dollar amounts, stuff like that. So there would be rules. I wouldn't necessarily care. I would do percentage gains, not dollar amount gains. So it wouldn't be based on someone like YOLOing 10 grand and winning. So it would do just percentage gains. That's it. Yep, screenshots for sure. That's why there's too many questions on. That's why I have because that was brought up in the first month of the Discord. I just we have to be able to do it where it's done right. Yeah, yeah. Do you make all your short term profits and trades using probably SPY? Yeah, yeah. Zach, yeah. So I make all my profits in the market here trading SPY, SPX. Occasionally I'll throw in the Qs. Has been a while though. So yeah, y'all all my boys. Lee Rat is legit. Y'all all my boys though, and girls. So continue to climb. I'm gonna post this thing out. Let me go into server announcements. It's hard for me to type with a splint on my left pinky. All right, red candles down here, coming down to the 5 on our 80 man, the 5 minute chart. Red candle, 442.56. All right, so coming down to the 5, let's take a look around. Let's see what's going on. Nasdaq's up there still. The futures are just below the 8 here, and VIX is a little uptick in the VIX here. Could be a sign of a temporary downturn, maybe just temporary. XLF has got a nice healthy red candle, small little green one forming. All the industries up. No, what I'll do is I'll figure out a way to do a live drawing like on a YouTube where everyone could watch it, so there's no way to fudge the numbers. Yep, so I'm looking here. It's just below the 8. This VIX, I'd love to see a little red come to the VIX and buy this baby up. Oh, Nasdaq's bouncing. Nice, nice, nice. Bounce, 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 bounce. So red, little red here, coming below the 8 EMA 5-minute. Yep. What's up, LOL montages? How you doing? What is your consensus on the SPY now in line for all-time high? I think we're not. I'm not going to say all-time highs. I do think we're going. We will climb higher. Just all the buying action is indicative of more buying. So we'll see. I won't say all-time highs. I mean, we could I mean, the weekend is a long time. It could bring in new news, especially with as much negative news is out there. Any one of those could bring this market back down. So I don't like to make big predictions, especially when there's this much volatility. It's not like we're doing a slow grind. Remember, this volatility is nuts. So my bad. I was typing up that announcement. That's why I wasn't looking. So. If y'all do want to take a part of the be a part of the Patreon payout, join the community. I'll post the link there. That'll bring you to it. Nope, it'll just be one. It'll just be one name. Only one person will win one card. And I'll start doing this more often. And the bigger we get, the bigger the payouts. I want to give back to the community here. So, if we get more community, we get more members, the bigger the payout will be. And maybe I'll do a grand prize in Christmas time or something like that. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. There's a couple of ways. I'll probably do just old school out of a hat. I could do, an Excel random, like you could do the random formula where it picks random numbers, that kind of thing. So, but I'll probably just do old school, right out of a hat. All right, so red candles here. Nasdaq is still holding strong. Futures are kind of dipping just a touch. VIX is climbing. SPY is 44233. You could even eventually you can gift us stocks. That'd be awesome, actually. Yeah. Ooh. All right. Some more rotation back into the bonds. Look at that. I missed that. Good catch. Yeah, TLT is raging off 150.72 again. Interesting. Interesting. Dip in the XLF, XLB. News just said Biden is speaking in 2 hours. All right. All right. Yeah, if VIX does fail to about to come back down, for sure, it would be a great entry here. But with this rotation back into the bonds, this strong, should be an interesting moment for sure. I wonder if there's a giveaway bot for Discord. I want to make it as simple as possible so no one can say like there wasn't a fair chance. So what I'd rather do is just get me like a big old glass bowl. I could extrapolate all the names, put all the names in a hat, spin it up, pull them out. That's it. Maybe I'll get one of those fancy like little roller things like you see in the lottery, like the balls that roll. I'll even wear a goofy little hat. It's all right. I got 3 kids. I can have them. I can have them cut all the names out of paper. They'll have a blast. I'll print it on pink papers and they'll make it fun. Like, come on, kids, you're gonna help daddy today. All right, LOM montages. Beg me to respond. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. What's the opinion on the market right now? If he thinks it's going to bounce strong enough to lead all-time highs, or is it based on experience? All right. Well, I said it before. Right now, with the exuberance and the buying volume, all the buying volume says this is going up. The buying volume is there, and that's all. That's what I base my system on is buying volume. The buying volume supports this going higher. There is a lot of negativity in the market right now. It could go like the weekend is a long time. There's a lot of negative events. It could bring it down. But right now, things all look like it's going onward and upward. I'm not going to say we're going to blast new all-time highs. The chart still shows that we're rebounding. So that's what I'm going to play. I play with the charts in front of me. I don't try to make guesses based on what could have been. If you make guesses based on what could have been, you would have shorted the market all through 2020 and then you'd have lost your butt. You play with the markets in front with what's in front of you. And I think this is going up. I'm not going to swing a call, but right now I'm looking to play calls until I'm told otherwise. Bonds are a hedge against risk. That's what Sebastian is saying right now. Bonds are a hedge against risk. When you see large fluctuations in bonds, not necessarily chop, when you see large fluctuations in bonds, that is a risk off, risk on. It's a rotation in and out of the market. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm pretty savvy with Excel, so I was thinking of doing that. Just do the random equation in Excel, pop that out. It looks like you did, Lee Rat, for sure. You could do that, dude, for sure. It's your money. Yeah, XLF is dipping because of this rotation out. We could have some downside in SPY here. You should do a raffle for an incredible Patreon spot. That's a great idea too. Man, you guys got some good ideas. I like it. All right, more red candles here on the SPY. Nasdaq's dipping. Futures are dipping. VIX increasing. XLF is coming down. I'm more apt to buy the dip than I am I'm going to play puts down. So I'll let this dip, and I'll look at playing calls on a bounce. Right now, I've got August 25th, 445 calls are currently trading for $1.03 a piece. All right, so this is cool. There's a couple of websites we can do. Yeah. Raffle balls, yeah, yeah. Just that one, Kevin. Just that one. So this candle's getting bought right at the VWAP. Yeah, I guess that's one way to put it. Yeah, subdivisions. They're all made up. SPY is made up of all these sectors. They're all components. So that's why you have to look at how they're all doing, because that's going to show you the strength of the market. That's why yesterday, when you saw that big rotation out into all the sectors and everything started climbing, that was the indication that this was truly a bullish recovery and not just a little pop. You've got, and it's all based on volume, and it's based on how all the other indices are recovering. How do I read when VIX is sideways? So VIX is just, measure of volatility, obviously. So when the VIX is not trading up and down, you're not going to really expect big moves one way or the other. So when VIX is trading sideways, if bonds are increasing like this, then you could predict possibly a slow creep down in the SPY. But as long as the volatility stays flat, you're not going to see big swings. That's all there is to it. That's all VIX is a measure of volatility. New retail traders have yet to experience a big 10 to 15% drop. Yep, they have not. That's why when 2018 comes, I'm curious to see what Reddit is going to be like, what Wall Street Bets is going to be like when we have a 2018, or when all this fun comes crashing down. And it will happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. It could be 3 years, but it's going to happen. So I'm very curious to see what Wall Street Bets and those things will be like when that actually happens. But that's why I'm glad you all are here, because we'll be ready for it. We'll be ready for it. Yeah, Ezekiel. They will. They will. What positions will I hold in retirement account when the drop comes? I mean, right now I've got the G fund. My TSP retirement account is all G fund stuff, so it's all low risk. I did that about 2 months ago or so. Uh, my long term trading account that I manage right now, I've already taken risk off with FAANG. I'll continue to take risk off into 2021, or into at the end of 2021, and that'll all be adjusting like I go. I mean, I can liquidate those positions quickly, so I don't need to take too much risk off the table. I can liquidate those very quickly. The counts are so far up from March 2020 that I can afford to lose a day or two of downside if we do decide to crash. And of course, those are talking stocks, not options. So the downside is pretty limited as long as you know what you're doing on stocks, especially when you're talking about ETFs. It's all relative. Snakes. Snakes. Where do I know that name? Snakes. I actually found WSB because a suicide hotline posted on top of the RL. Oh yeah, that's deep. So it's all relative. Some days it's higher, some days it's lower. Then it's Friday, this Friday to last Friday. Do I ever buy SPY shares? Yes, I do. No one even caught that movie reference, by the way. Yeah, SPY shares, I do. All my long-term trading accounts, I only buy. It's only stocks. There you go. Home Alone, people got it. It's only shares. I don't have any options in my long-term trading account, so it's all shares. Yeah, you're right, Jacob. It does. I don't know no snakes. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. I love it. All right, so VIX is still increasing ever so slightly. TLT is now coming back off. XLF is coming back down. Maybe this is the bounce we're going to get for the SPY. Home Alone, snakes. Big old red, TLT. There it is. I love it. What are the orbs? Orbs? What do you mean? Explain yourself. Oh, the dots. Yeah, that's the morning session ranges. So from market open until 10:05 Eastern, we've got the ranges set. The morning range is set. Right now we're chugging along right at the top of the range. You tell me you weren't referencing snakes on a plane? No. Should my goal be 100 shares or cash put first? I don't know. It all depends on your capital, your experience, all that stuff. Oh, yikes. My wife just sent me a pretty dark text. Man, people don't even know. People don't even know how bad it's about to get. Just about the COVID. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm not going to read it, but yeah, it's incredibly full. So most of them are unvaccinated. Some of them are still vaccinated, but all very dire. It's just crazy. It's crazy. She's having a rough time. She's directing three ERs right now and a lot of other stuff. So it's like she sees the big picture, and she's having to deal with all the different other hospitals in the area. Some very well-renowned video hospitals, and every one of them are overrun. So, and then, I don't, it's just this is all healthcare, not just her. It's all yeah, all the time, Lee Rat, her and everybody else. I mean, it's hard not to think of it. They're underpaid, they're overworked, they're stressed, they're maxed out, they're having to deal with variants, and yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Alabama's at -25 ICU beds. Yeah, have her day trade. Yeah, probably less stressful. Blue dots. The blue dots are the afternoon. The yellow dots are the morning. How often do you use MACD? I don't use it anymore. Uh, I used to use it, but it's a little too laggy for me. It is way like by the time you got into position, it was already over with. So my girlfriend is in the police academy. Already wants to retire. Yeah, she's actually in the Discord too. Mrs. Options Millionaire. She doesn't come in here very often, but she's busy. But yeah, she's in here. I think so. Yeah, she is Lee Red. Yeah. Nope, no, it was trolling. That's her. Options down Thousandaire is not my son. No, no. No, but I'm starting to do that. That is a something that's on my radar, Stephen. No, she's not going to win the drawing. She's in there to help me. She's not in there as a. Obviously, she's not in there to be a part. All right, Qs are starting to dip. VIX is starting to climb. I am not going to play puts unless we have an overall breakdown. I'll just plan on playing calls on the bounce just to take a little bit of risk off here. XLF is got a touch green. EMAs are crossed to the downside. Bonds are starting to fall. Might just be a temporary little pullback here. It is 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock Eastern. You sound like my dad. Are you my dad? No, son. I'm not your dad. How's my EMA setup? I've got 8, 21, 34, all EMAs. Blue is 8, yellow is 21, purple's 34. Green is VWAP. Volume is poor, yes. 5-minute here, EMA is pointing down. We're below the 8. Nice, Porsche dude. You could potentially get that, Corporal, potentially. Yeah, Brian. Yeah, I feel you. You know, that prediction, that's the part that's hairy. You know, that's the part that's hairy. Do I have a video explaining VWAP? I don't. I don't. I do explain on some of my videos. I talk about VWAP, but I don't have a dedicated video to it. All it is the volume weighted average price. So it takes in the volume weighted average price of the entire day. That's why the later in the day you get, the less that thing moves. So you see this, like let's take a look at yesterday. You see this big changes in VWAP, and then as more volume comes to the day, it starts averaging out, and you get this nice peanut butter spread straight line. So it becomes a very strong indicator. A lot of people make trades just based off the VWAP alone. Bounce off VWAP, comes to VWAP, returns to VWAP, that kind of stuff. This indicator is a little wonky because it does have here, so you have to kind of play it. Like this is not VWAP. This, like the VWAP's still coming over. There you go. Oh, I do have one. Yeah, I do have dedicated one VWAP. That was a long time ago. So yeah, VWAP is a fantastic indicator because it shows you where the volume weight is on the average scale. When you start to average stuff out is when you start to find good, strong supports and resistances because it's taken in all the price action. So these little wonky shoots up like that, that's not accurate. That's just a anomaly. So you have to look kind of where it is here, like right there. So I just use the center line, Sean. I don't use the upper and lower bounds. Some people do. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I just don't use that. I'll try to trade SPX more when I can because it's all relative. I trade SPX as long as the spreads are fine. If we have enough options volume and we have enough, if the spread's not too crazy, I'll trade SPX. So right now I'm going to be looking at the 44, let's see the volume on 4450 calls on SPX. And just to pick out a put, let's do the 4415s just because I have plenty of volume. So 4450, 4415s. What was my previous strategy? It was pretty much a version of this, except I relied a little bit more on indicators, and it was everything. So I was playing news events, I was playing momentum, I was playing Tesla, Amazon, all the FAANG stock. I was playing everything. Tesla's fallen off, by the way, so looks like FAANG is starting to take a hit. FAANG T, I guess you can call it FAANG T. So yeah, when was my last losing quarter? Man, it was in 2019. It was in 2019. I would either say December or the Q4 or Q3 of 2019 was my overall last losing quarter. Partially because, and I attribute that because like I am more apt to sit on my hands and do nothing for 2 weeks straight than I am to overtrade because I'm someone who does not do good with risk. I take risk completely off the table. I would rather sit here and watch this and do nothing than make a trade that I'm not comfortable with. So that's why I was able to do that. Do you do any endurance training or competition Ironman? No, I want to. I do want to do an Ironman. I actually want to get into biking. Uh, so yeah. The only because of that is swimming. Swimming is my nemesis. I'm like a big like bulky dude. Swimming is not fun. I do want to get into it though. I have a pool. I do a lot of swimming. I'm trying to get better at swimming. I've actually gotten a lot better. So that's what I want to do. Just bought a new mountain bike. Nice, nice. You said you could hit 3 plates on bench easy, right? What's your body weight? 220. I'm a little heavy right now. I'm working on bringing this back down. So yeah, 220. In my quest to get a lot bigger and stronger, I've put on a little bit more weight than I care to. So yeah. Bitcoin at 48 plus. Nice, nice. In your case, by choosing to trade the longer duration option to avoid the same day expiration volatility, why do you choose not to just trade directly trade the futures? I just like trading SPY and SPX. Most of the time SPX. Michael, I mean, yeah, it's easy to get like that. And when you start in a rut, when you get in a rut, you have to back off. Like everyone gets in a rut. Look at me. June and July were very good to me. August, I've taken a little more losses than normal. So what am I doing? I'm trading less. Take it off. And there's not some weird crazy reason why you're doing bad. It's not a weird conspiracy. It's just nothing. The only thing, market conditions has changed, and for some reason it's not going against your eyes. So when that happens, or things are a little unpredictable, just stop trading. Take a few days off. I promise you'll come back refreshed. You'll feel better, and you'll start making positive trades again. Look at me. I went from trading 3, 4, 5 times a day to taking like 2 or 3 trades, 4 trades a week. I'm 6 foot even. Just maybe like a half a centimeter above 6 foot. Runtime right now is like 7:35, 7:15. I'm not a fast runner at all. I mean, I do use support and resistance zones based on volume. I don't use like the exact system that a lot of people are using, which I would be open to looking at, but I'm always open to looking at different systems just to see. Yeah. My mile and a half run time is 11:15. That's my Air Force PT test time. I'm slow. I'm really slow. Do I like the color blue? I do not like the color blue. That's my mile and a half time, not my mile time. So I'm not that slow. Yeah, Michael, just take some time off, man. Just read the charts, maybe do a little paper trading. Just step aside. Don't do it. Holding a bit of holiday weight is all. Yeah, it's a friend's reference, by the way. I like it. All right, so green candles here. TLT falling off again. Nice little wave action here. XLF being bought back up. Let's see. Bonds, Qs, everything going well. Apple, I have an iPhone. Bodybuilders don't run, it takes away gains. Yeah, buddy. $9.43 for my last Air Force PT test. Nice. Yeah, the problem is I'm a heel striker when I run, so I'm trying to fix that. I'm trying to overcome that, but I'm a heel striker, so it slows me down. I don't have the greatest of running technique. 442.50 bounced off of didn't bounce off anything on the 5 minute, just kind of above VWAP there. Didn't quite get down to the 21. XLF is raging back up. Nasdaq's still down. Futures are still down. Greatest decision of my life, Sebastian. Greatest decision of my life. So right here, 441.96. I've got 442.36 as my next support here. So let's look at the 1 month here. So on the 1 month, we do have a little bit of volume node here, but we're kind of in this no man's land area in terms of the short-term support. Let's look at the 5-day. We're just below resistance, so we're kind of hovering out at this volume node at this 442.54. We got a little bit of support down here at 441.83, which we almost got down to. As a family man, how do you manage your time as a profitable trader? Spending time with the family, take care of health, researching on markets, actual trading, hours per day on trading. Yeah, it's part of the reason why I'm bald, Mark. I've got no hair. So yeah, it's all about time management, and you have to be very strict with your time. There is no, I don't feel like doing that. I can't do that now. So like when my alarm goes off, I'm up, I'm out. I force myself to get up. The second my alarm goes off, I'm up, and you have to do that. It's not easy, but especially when I've injected this, the OM on the Options Millionaire character, the community, it's injected a lot more. You have to be very diligent. You have to be very disciplined. And discipline for me is the difference between someone that's successful. I was bald at 21, Beaver Terror. Someone that's successful and someone that's not quite as successful. And people talk about motivation. Motivation is BS. You hear someone, you have to motivate yourself. That's complete BS. Because even for top-notch, highly motivated, Olympic athletes, whatever, who it is, Motivation is fleeting. It's all about discipline. Because you're going to have days where you just don't want to do anything and you're going to have to do it. So for me, I have to get up. Like my alarm goes off, sometimes 3:30, sometimes 4:30, depending on when I go to bed that night. If I do it all, I wake up. I personally, 3 days a week, I'll get up. I'll do a 1,000 to 2,000 meter row. I'll get my coffee. I'll do my Bible reading because I'm a religious person, whichever it is. Then I'll start doing it to my analytics, my pre-market stuff. I'll do any kind of media I need to do for OM. I'll do my market research. I'll start forming my average supports, resistances, levels. I'll start answering DMs, answering questions, answering emails. And then about that time, my kids will get up. I got to feed them, I got to do breakfast. I'll feed them breakfast to get them ready for school, take them to school, come back. I usually get back anywhere between 7:50 and 8 o'clock, and then I'll start doing my pre-market stuff for the Patreons. And then we'll get into market. Then we'll get into the market. I'll set up my systems. We'll go into the market. We'll trade. I'll do what I'm doing here. I usually sign off about 12 Eastern. And then 12 Eastern, I'll get some lunch, protein shake. I'll either work out or I'll work on media stuff. If I don't work out, I'll work out after the market closes, 3:30, 4 o'clock, after I go get my kids and bring them home. I'll do all my family stuff, homework, reading, all that crap, spend some time with the wife. 8 or 9 o'clock, I'll start working on some other stuff, and then I'll go to bed. So, yeah. And then, the 4 Fs, man. You got to live by the 4 Fs. Faith, family, fitness, finance. Faith, family, fitness, finance. Finance comes last in all those because if you don't have faith, you don't have family. You don't have family, you don't have faith. Fitness, you have to have your health. That's mental and physical fitness. Have to have mental fitness, have to have physical fitness. And then after all that is finance. Get your finances to order. Thanks, Sebastian. Appreciate that. So the 4 Fs, that's what I live my life by, the 4 Fs. And if you're not a religious person, to each his own, but I would highly recommend taking some time to reflect. Some sort of meditative state. Doesn't have to be prayer if you're not a religious person. I won't force that on you. But some sort of meditative state where you can chill, where you can shut your brain off, you can reflect internally and get that mind-body connection. So cuddles to me, I love cuddling. When do you work for the Air Force? I fly nights. I work nights now. So the nights that I do work, I'll go in at 11:15 p.m. and I'll get off work at 7 a.m. and I'll come home. My wife will take care of the kids at that point when I work those days, and then I'll pretty much get home, get some coffee, do my prayer, and then I'll jump on and do OM stuff. I'm actually pursuing a master's degree now too, so I have to throw in. That's usually on the weekends. Saturdays, Sundays make up studying, testing, stuff like that. Absolutely, dirt, sweat, and gears for sure. My master's degree is Christian Ministries. Christian Ministries, so it'll be a Master's of Divinity. So 442.35, we're kind of trading in this range now, not really moving. So let's see where we go from here with the SPY. NASDAQ's dipping. XLF has come back up to the top of that range. Not really moving. Oh, nice. Cool. Husband's doing that as well. Very cool. Yeah, it's a journey for sure. I know it sounds like I know the pats of the bats are nice though, but I have to do this. It's just how my brain's wired. Like I can't stand. It's like a shark. When a shark stops swimming, he dies. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's like a saying, a metaphor. If a shark stops swimming, he dies. It's like I can't stop moving. I'm someone who always has to be moving. I have to be using my hands. I always have to be going. And that's the great thing about the market. You never stop learning in the market. It's always it's a dynamic living thing. So this is perfect for me. Learning how to do the market and constantly adjusting, constantly evolving. So 442.36 right now. We're popped to the top of the range here. 5-minute chart. Let's go to the 3 here, see how things are looking. So the EMAs are starting to sandwich in right on top of the range here. You've got the volume node at 442.41. Is there any reason not to trade options on SPX rather than SPY if you can afford? The big thing is the spreads. That's really the thing that comes in and out. Volume and spreads. You want to make sure you you have liquidity. That's the big thing, liquidity. Because you know, and which normally is not a problem with SPX as long as you know what you're doing. But if you get too far out in SPX, you could have some liquidity problems. The spreads are usually wider. There's an argument out there where the spreads are bigger enough for SPX where it kind of eats up your benefit of SPY. But it all, if you can afford SPX, most times it's more beneficial to trade SPX. So. Overachiever much. Well, I came from nothing, so I had I had a terrible childhood, so I had to dig myself out. So Space Force, no Air Force, not Space Force. All right, 442.33. VIX is still hovering out here. We don't really have much action out now after this big pop. Does contract volume play a role in picking strikes? Absolutely, it does. Absolutely, it does. Like if I'm going for SPX and there's only like 30 volume on it, I'm not touching that thing. I'm not touching that because I'm not, there could be some liquidity issues there. Not everyone, there could not, but there could be. So with SPX, I usually try to pick something that's got at least a couple of hundred volume. I try to pick SPY that's got at least got like 1,000 or more, 2,000 to 2,000 volume. That's going to ensure I'm going to get out of my position. You also have to look at the open interest as well. So open interest is a good indicator of market sentiment. How long have I been trading? When do you become consistently profitable? I appreciate that. Yeah. 10 years. I'm going on. It'll be 10 years this fall. It took me about 3 years. It was 2 years where I could start becoming consistent. 3 years where I could count on this as supplemental income, where I could actually say, hey, I can actually count on drawing some kind of income out of this quarterly. You're funny, Lee Rat. Nice, nice. What'd you do before trading options? Did you work until you got around PD2 rule? It doesn't matter. Avoid a cash account. You can trade as many times as you want as long as you stay under your capital. So if you've got a $10,000 account, you can make 10 $1,000 trades. So yeah, just go to a cash account. Yes, my sweet spot is normally that 3, 4, 4, 5 normally. Brian, great. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, volume and volatility both died off. Appreciate the 4F's advice. I like the saucy simplifies the areas think of focus. Yeah, for sure. When you had that massive loss in the beginning, did you refund it or did you start it from what you had left? Both. I began to start trading. I learned how to do this. I grinded and I grinded. And I did start refunding little by little. I didn't just take like 20 grand and throw it in there. I refunded little by little, a couple $100 here, like $1,000 here over the course of a couple of years, and started refunding that. And then I became profitable. I learned how to do this and develop a win rate, and I focused on my percentage gains, and I started to do it little by little. And I went through my emotions and all that stuff. How was my Indian neighbors? They're amazing. They're awesome, awesome people. Their daughter, her daughter's incredibly smart, incredibly smart. It's amazing how they raise their kids. So they're awesome people, very generous. I love them. Have you entered any trades, Wilhelm? Nope, not yet, not yet. No, I didn't take puts, Lee, right? Oh, you're talking about him. Okay, sorry. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Let's see. 10:05. He said he entered 10:05, which what 11:05 East Central. You talking about Central Time? Oh yeah, yeah, sure. Okay. Uh, I mean the selling volume did uptick slightly right there. That green candle did buy up everything there. I mean, I kind of did the same thing yesterday. Like I bought there somewhere around here. I was up, 3-4% yesterday, and I did actually get smoked out, obviously. But it all depends on when you took that. I have to know exactly when you bought this. So you see this hammer on, this wick out, which indicate buying pressure. So that is a bullish signal. So that indicates this dragonfly doji indicates a reversal, because you have this huge, like you got the red candle that forms, and then the buyers wick it up, this buyer up. So whatchamacallit, dragonfly doji that's on the bottom like this indicates reversal to the upside. So that's where you got to be careful. Why don't you play spreads in these choppy days? Usually I do, but this volatility here, I am not touching a spread in this market, because you can get facing a $3 move in 58 seconds, and I'm sitting there going womp womp. Well, that was fun. Turn 135 into 703 weeks, you'd be able to make money with 1,500. Yep. Red candles here. Can you go over how to day trade a spread? I'm talking about, the strangles. I guess you're insinuating like I'm talking about when I sell strangles spreads. So I'll go over a brief thing here, because I know, we're in the middle of the market here, but horizontal line. Let's see. Let's say just, I'm picking numbers out of a hat here. I want to sell the spread that's got a 446 call, and let's say, I don't know, a 437 put. Let's just use that. Price is somewhere right in the middle. So what I do, I usually look for a 1 week expiration, 1 week-ish, with a 0.1 delta. 0.1 delta. So I look for the 0.1 deltas, 0.1 deltas, and I'll sell that and get whatever the premium is. Usually the credit's anywhere from, I don't know, $1 or 75 cents, somewhere in there. And the longer that thing stays in the middle, the more money you make. Like the more premium you collect. So it's a good thing. Sometimes I'll hold it overnight to the next day, depending on market conditions. If we're like in the back of June, the first few weeks of June, I'll hold this baby 2-3 days. In these conditions, I wouldn't dare hold this thing overnight. Not in a million years. So I would just play it out. I would look for my 10 to 15% gain and then close it in these conditions. So it's all based on conditions. In a volatile market, I am not holding this thing overnight. If I think we are on the precipice of a move up or move down, I am not going to move. I am not going to hold this thing overnight. So just another strategy. And you can talk about that more in the theta room. They do a great job explaining that, probably better than I do. What's your usual percentage that you either exit a portion of all your position on the upside or downside? I aim to close between 10 and 20%. Further out of the money strike on one trade, does that increase or decrease the risk? The further outside the money you get, the more increase of risk you have. Because if you're wrong, it's going to decay on you a lot faster. That's why I pick my strikes that are very strategic. They're not too outside the money. They're not too in the money. They're right where I want them to be. I'm up 11% on a call. Do you think I should close now or hold? I'm not going to tell you yes or no. I do think we're going to have a bullish sentiment at the end of the day. That's just my personal thoughts. I could be wrong, and I'm going to play according to that. There you go. Zoomed in. 3-minute chart. Because those are scalpers. The scalpers are playing the zero DTEs. That's what they do. Is they scalp those they're scalping SPY moving 5-10 cents. They're playing 15, 20 trades a day, and they're playing. They want to go for like a 50% win rate with more percentage gains. They're looking for scalps. That's the purpose of zero DTEs. Like people, that's how you're supposed to play zero DTEs is quick scalps, not let me hold on and try to get a 1,000% gain because I'm a YOLOer. Yeah, me neither. I won't touch them. I won't touch them. Hey, look at this green candle. All right, look at this bullish action up here. The double green candles right up here coming back up through the EMAs. VIX starting to round off to the downside. Say what? Yeah. So the green candles popped up through on the 21 on the 5-minute chart coming through the 80 EMA now. We got double green candles and we're up to 44275. We're 25 cents off the session highs. Feel you, Lee, right? Yeah. I'm looking at the same thing. We're still chopping in this range. Yeah, and again, I don't have any problem with zero DTEs as long as they're used like responsibly. And the problem is most people don't use them responsibly. They look at them as a lottery ticket, and that's not what their intent is. Their intent is a scalp. The only way you make any real money off those is those things move quickly and aggressively. Otherwise, theta gets you. Oh, by the time, that's right. There you go. All right, so this 442.51 level. I've got 442.36 as my last support, which we were definitely way above that. We're well, not way above it, but we are above 20 cents. So this is proving to be a good resistance point at this 442.36, which I posted there in the Patreon room. So let's see what happens if we break the support node. 442.36 is there. In fact, I'm going to draw a line. 442.36, right? Can't really get it. 435. I'll just put it at 437. Okay. Let's change the color of this to something bright. Let's do. Okay, let's stick with pink. That kind of stands out. There's not much pink on the screen. So that's the support. That's the resistance I had. It's sticking to that thing like glue. We'll see what happens. If we puncture through that, we'll look at taking some calls. If we drop below that on volume, we'll look at taking puts. It'll take a lot for me to want to take puts today, though, with the volatility we've been having. So much fun losing money. You may have different versions of fun for sure. What's the price volume indicator you use to see the support resistance? That is the VP. If you go into indicators and type in VP, and you go on down to KV4 coins right here. He's the author, and that's volume profile. That's the one I use. No, I'm sticking to my watch list. If I do puts, I'll have to adjust them, yeah, but let's take a look. SPY. Yeah, the SPX should be updated. SPY, I'll go with 440s. And I'll stick with the interesting. So the 445s are 31 deltas, the 39s. Let's go with the 444s. So 440s, 444s. And I'll adjust the watch list. There you go. Yep, I'm doing SPX. I'm sure there's worse theories than that, Lee-Rat, for sure. How much longer we'll be on for? Another 18 minutes. I have to go get my pinky set. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Q's dipping. SPY is holding strong. XLF is still climbing though. What are the bonds doing? Bonds are staying flat. XLF is climbing. Tech is dipping. Dipping pretty good too. Dip it good. Da-na-na-na-na. No, I mean I looked at Nasdaq and it's ripping, baby. SPY is holding up strong. I'm actually gonna flip to call puts just for a second, just in case this thing goes down. Man, these are pricey. Holy crap. Applied volatility is 13 on these things. Thanks, Lucas. Appreciate it. Super expensive. Yeah, 13% volatility or implied volatility. Well, it's all that implied volatility. That's what drives the price of these things. So it's just the market pricing and a movement. Spicy and pricey. Yeah, but that's the market pricing and the movement. So that could mean that they think there's going to be more downside here. Because really implied volatility in calls is 3 or 4% less than on the puts. I'm not neither, but I just brought up my put contracts just in case that this brings down SPY, because look at this, It's due 5-minute chart. We're through the EMAs now, which is pretty significant. XLF, this is what holding up SPY right now. Bonds are flat. VIX is green but flat, a green candle but flat. So I brought up puts just to be ready if this thing pops. I think it's going to. I mean, there's a lot. This is pretty decent downside here. Boop, 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 boop. I got 1950, 1960 on the bid ask. This breaks the 34 and heads on down. I'll look at jumping in a quick put. I'm talking in and out. I'll be happy with 5% on the SPY, on the SPX. Look at the crossover, 8 and 21 crossover. On the NASDAQ, yeah. And the Qs. The futures will lead this by a few seconds. NASDAQ right now is below this 34. and still falling. Fire to the downside, squeeze Momo. Oof. Yep, 825s. Now this thing just doesn't want to drop. Not yet. It is. All right, so we're getting wicked out to the bottom side here with the bonds. VIX is still trading flat with his green. XLF is still up, so I got 1990 on the bid ask. There's 20 bucks. And it's not falling. So right now, I'm just waiting to see what things are going to shake out because we've got this big downside. NASDAQ didn't touch the futures, didn't touch SPY at all. Yep, 44.15 puts on SPX. Green candle on SPY and the futures, NASDAQ. Green candle on the NASDAQ as well. Bullish sentiment for the futures and SPY if it holds up. Everything else is green. XLV is uptrending. The bonds are still down. All right, NASDAQ, that green candle got flipped to red. I got 1980 on the bid. Little pop in bonds here. Little pop in bonds. right, a little more red here. Big downside in the NASDAQ. Oof. Crazy stuff, man. That just completely bought up. Wicked out. I don't think it's going to crab walk for the rest of the day. I think we'll make a move soon. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Especially with the NASDAQ being this heavy, we could see some more downside here. XLF is hanging out. All the indices are not moving except for the Ks. Just rounding over. Everything else looks steady. Oh, look at that. Big drop in the NASDAQ here. Qs are still dipping hard. This has got to bring SPY down. TLT spiking. I'm taking a position here. This has got to bring it down just a touch. I'm in at 2040. Open up my entry. With the NASDAQ coming down this hard, yep, puts XLF is turning red. Bonds are starting to increase. We'll see what happens. So yeah, look at the NASDAQ. It's still falling, rounding off and going hard. This is the futures here. VIX is increasing. There's SPY dip right there. Man, that thing is getting wicked out. We need it to dump. Every little red candle is getting bought, which I don't like. I need this thing to dump the way things are acting. Now I'm back to break even. Yep, because we got this support, which we're below support that I had, but this thing, that's a good good wick right there. I think it was a good little flush, and it's getting wicked. XLF still hanging out here at the top. Bonds spiked up, a little red candle. But NASDAQ's still on the way down. All right, green candle forming here. NASDAQ is still rolling over. Still looking pretty heavy. We're now popping through the 50 on the 5-minute chart. Let's go to the 3-minute. Big green candle coming up on the SPY. NASDAQ is a little bit green down at the bottom, and futures are bouncing hard. VIX red coming down. XLK is green. XLF spiking. XLB is just gapped up. And XLE is up. Good stuff. Good stuff. It's been a good time. It's been a good week. You can. Yep. Yep. Alrighty. I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. So the biggest green candle we've had since, let's see, 1018. Q's green here. NASDAQ is got its green bounce just above VWAP here on the NASDAQ. VIX is got this red candle here. And we're up again, 442.44. Well, it's all right. I mean, ain't nothing crazy going on yet. NASDAQ is still falling, so all right, so NASDAQ rolled over pretty hard. It's through the EMAs, crossed over under the 8 and 21. Didn't even really move SPY at all. That the other indices were holding this thing up, and now it's popping back up. Still holding around this 442.38 level. Just hovering, oscillating right around the support. All right, so here we are at the top, 442.53. Q's got a little red here. NASDAQ's a little red. VIX rolled back over. And bonds are still smack dab in the middle. Still on the increase, though. We'll see what happens with that. Yeah, it's part of the game. Three big old healthy candles in a row. Good stuff. All right, well, that's 11:03 my time, 12:03 Eastern. Time for me to go get this finger checked out. So I'm going to hop off here. I'll still be monitoring the market as best I can on my mobile. On my cell, I'll be looking to get this thing out if I can be. So, yep, still in. I'm still in the play. So I'll post when I get out. Yeah, I'll be putting in an OCO for sure. Good luck with the pinky. Thanks. Appreciate that. So y'all be smart today. Trade smart. And we'll get back at it on Monday. I don't think I'll be back on streaming this afternoon. I just got a lot of stuff going on here. So yeah, just y'all be smart, trade smart, don't YOLO, don't guess on volatility. So yeah, thanks for being here. Be on the lookout for so just remember the drawing we've got on September. Remember that. I'll post some more reminders going out the rest of the week to be on the lookout for that. And y'all be ready. Y'all be ready. So until next time, I will see y'all. Thanks for being here.